Jyotis, divine light of the self. I welcome all of you for today's session of Akhanda Gita Jnana Yajna. We are in the chapter 1, understanding the depression of Arjuna, called Arjuna. Shloka number 1.40 to 1.43. Let us chant. Katyani, you can start chanting.
Kulakshaye pranashyanti kuladharma sanatana dharme nashte kulam krishnam adharmo bhibhate uta adharma bhibhavat krishna pradushyanti kulastriya strishu dushtan shubhashneya jayate varna sankaraha shankaro naraka Yaiva kulagnanam kulashaya cha patanti pitaro hesham lupta pindodaka kriyaha doshair etai kulagnanam varna shankara karakai utsadyante jati dharma kuladharmascha sashvataha.
Thank you, Katyani. So, let us understand what is the essence of this shlokas, 4 shlokas. So these 4 shlokas describe loss of culture. What happens when the war is there? Loss of culture, loss of societal values will happen. So let us make Gayatri ji, can you tell the meaning?
Yes, Krishna. Shlokas 1.40 to 1.43. When families are destroyed, its traditions are also destroyed, and rest of the families become involved in unrighteousness, which takes over the family. With the preponderance of vice, O Krishna, the women of the family become immoral, and from the immorality of women, O descendant of Vrishni, unwanted progeny are born. An increase in unwanted children results in hellish life, both for the family and for those who destroy the family. Deprived of sacrificial offerings, the ancestors of such corrupt families also fall through the evil deeds of those who destroy the family tradition and thus give rise to unwanted progeny. A variety of social and family welfare activities are ruined. Thank you, Hariom.
So in this shloka, can you remove Katyani? In these shlokas, Arjuna is putting forward his logic. We saw Arjuna is entered into delusion. His intellect is confused, but he tries to give a beautiful logic why war should not be done, why he should not fight the war. So he is telling the effect of war on the families. When there is war, the families get destroyed. And what is the effect of that on the society? What is the effect of that on the society? He is trying to describe. So let us see what Arjuna is saying. So everywhere in the world, there's a family system. So this is a typical Indian family, and this is something of a Western family. Anywhere in the world, there's a family value. Indian family systems are much more strong. Indian family bonds are much more strong. Indian family values are much, much stronger than anywhere in the world. Whereas in the Western world, the family values are weak. Multiple times divorces happen. children born from one family, half parents, okay, and multiple social disturbance happen when the family system is broken. So Arjuna is telling Krishna that in the valley, when the war, first thing happens is families get broken, families get destroyed. Then what happens? Typically, in a war, men get killed. Only women are left. Women and children survive in a war. Where they will go? How they will survive? It's a big challenge. Then Varna Sankara will happen. Varna Sankara means women are forced to marry somebody or live with somebody, and the children are born out of that relationship. We don't know what values they carry. There's a total mix-up happens. So that Arjuna is describing. Why that is important? Because in a society, in India, women are given lot of importance. Yatra naryastu pujante ramante tatra devataha. That means gods will be pleased where women are worshipped. Indian society gave a lot of respect and value to women because grahini grahamuchyate. A house becomes home because of the wife. Without her, the house becomes a forest. A lot of importance is given to the women, their respect in the society. In a war, women get affected first because men are killed. They don't have any dependency. So they have to find a survival. How do they survive? They will marry with somebody. They will live with somebody. In the process, children who are born, we don't know, they are illicit children. The children, we don't know who is the father, who is the mother. And because of the cross culture, this value of the loss of culture is also there. Let us understand why. So this is how a societal system is. The women form the backbone of the household. Grahini grahamuchyate. Woman takes care of the culture, spiritual values of the house. It is a woman who brings up a child because the first impression of the child is from the mother. The values woman gives impulse to the child will be the value of the child because child has to grow and contribute to society. Who is the guru? Mother is the guru. So when women get affected, the entire society gets affected because women bring up the children with the values, with the culture. All those are imbibed by a woman at a very young age. Because whatever you learn at a young age lasts longer in your life. A great human being is born and brought up by the mother. So the values of the child become the values of the society. Society is built on family, and family is built on woman by the work of the woman. So if the woman gets affected, entire family gets affected and entire society gets affected. And if the society gets affected, country also gets affected. To build a great country, we need great people, great citizens. They are the product of the cultural and spiritual values of the family, which is nothing but nourished by the woman. So Arjuna is telling the problems which women will face in the war. And problem what happens in the family. The cultural values go. So what he says, see, a human being has 4 Purusharthas, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. So dharma is the order, spiritual, what we call as righteousness. Artha and kama, money and sex, they should be subservient to dharma. Dharma should be primary. And everybody should work towards moksha. For that, order is required in society. If the families are destroyed, what will happen to the women? Dharma and artha, dharma and moksha will go. The society will leave only one, artha and kama, money and sex. When the society lives on money and sex, what values the children will have? And the money and sex becomes predominant. The whole society will be disturbed. There's no long-term goal of dharma. There's no long-term goal of moksha. Then people live like animals. This is the worry Arjuna is projecting. Ultimately, a strong country is required to bring peace to all. Lokaha samasta sukhino bhavantu. But for that to happen, the society has to be good, society has to be righteous. For that, family has to be good. And for that, women have to have a safety. In war, everything is gone. So if you look at our country, India, okay, we have gone through more than about 1,000 years of war. Tremendous war. Lot of destruction has happened. But even if today we are surviving as a civilization, surviving as a culture, because women in the Indian society protected the values culture, with whatever difficulties happening in the society, it is the women of India who stood. It is the women of India who have protected the culture. Today, every other civilization has been gone through trouble, but Indian civilization survives, family value survives, thanks to the woman. That's why it is said, Yatra Naryastu Pujante, where women are worshipped, there gods will be pleased. So Arjuna brings out another argument. When lot of cultural disturbance happens, society disturbance, marriage will happen. Whomever you want to which community you don't know, you will start living with the another person. Then what cultural value he'll have? Let us say in India, let us say a person comes from a father comes from one background, mother comes from background. What will the background of the child? Child will be totally confused. A civilization will be confused. This destruction happens. It's called Varna Sankara. You don't know what to follow. The child doesn't know what to follow. This society, cultural values will destroy. Then what will happen? Arjuna says, when the cultural values are destroyed, people don't follow the festivals, rituals, and they don't even respect the Pitra Yadna, offering something to the Pitras, the ancestors. Once in a year, you have to offer the Pindadana, put to the ancestors, water to the ancestors. Even the Pitrus who have died, they will also suffer. So that means total confusion, total disorder will happen in society. This is what Arjuna is saying. And then he says, if this total destruction happens, the one who kills those people, relatives, those families, he will get a sin. That means Arjuna says, if I participate in this war, I'll be sinner, because I'll be causing this total social disturbance. Adharma will be, I have come for fighting the war for adharma, but entire society will be full of adharma. So I'll be responsible for adharma. He is giving a wrong logic. He is giving a, instead of fighting against adharma, Arjuna is giving a wrong logic to run away from the war, telling the bad effects of war. So now, this is actually what called Adi Bhautika, or physical meaning. This is about what happened in the Mahabharata war. Now we'll go into Adi Adhyatmika, or spiritual meaning of this shloka. So remember, Arjuna is a spiritual seeker. Arjuna represents two levels. At the outer level, Mahabharata war. Inner level, in our subtle body, the war is happening. So this war is represented by Arjuna's dilemma. So a dilemma of the seeker. So as a seeker, Arjuna is trying to achieve, go inwards and realize the self. But Duryodhana and Kaurava army represents the outgoing force of the nature. Right? Outgoing tendency of the mind. Mind will go out. So there are two tendencies. Mind go inwards towards the Atma. The mind goes out towards the world. Mind going inwards to Atma and Krishna is called Nivritti Marga. And mind going outwards is called Pravritti Marga. So Arjuna, as a spiritual seeker, he is confused. So enlightenment or liberation means no mind. If no mind is there, no mind means destruction, total destruction of families. Families here represents outgoing sensitive tendencies. So if the total destruction is there, no mind is there, then how will I live? Okay, the complete dharma is gone. I mean, I cannot operate. Enlightenment means no mind. No mind state or entire tendencies of outgoing tendencies of mind are, how do I live? So this is a spiritual adhyatmika meaning of the shloka. Oh, I'll be helpless. I'll be useless. Okay, this is the question. Adhyatmika, spiritual. So then there is a meaning. Then there is another meaning. See, he speaks of the women. Women get affected in a war. Here, the meaning of woman in the spiritual terms you have to understand. So Stri is the name given to woman in Sanskrit. Stri means Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. I'll tell you a story of Mirabai and a monk. So Mirabai goes to meet a monk, a Goswami in Vrindavan. The Goswami has taken a vow. He will not meet women. He says, I don't meet women. Then Mirabai sends him a message. There's only one Purusha, Purushottama, Sri Krishna. All other living beings who are full of three gunas, Sattva guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna, are Stris. Stri, the word Stri in colloquial language, Indian language, is used as woman. But in reality, spiritual terms, Stri means Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. That means man and woman who are full of three gunas, who are identified with three gunas are Stris. And Purusha means consciousness. But in the local language, in Kannada and other languages, Purusha means man, Stri means woman. In reality, Stri means all living beings who are identified with the body, mind and intellect. So spiritual meaning is very different meaning from the local, what you call rudartha, common meaning. So here we have to take the spiritual meaning. Women get affected in the war means what? Okay. The women get affected in the war represents the tendency of the mind. There is a mind, as I told you, has manas, ahankara, buddhi, and chitta, consciousness. So the manas is the sense mind. Mind is the lower part of the mind, controls the sense organs. Ahankara is the ego. Buddhi is the intellect. Buddhi should guide manas and ahankara. So the buddhi and atma is represented as masculine. Whereas manas, which has to follow, the feelings which have to follow the buddhi or ahankara are represented as feminine. So the feminine, manas is represented as feminine aspect and buddhi and ahankara is represented as masculine aspect. So Arjuna is saying the feminine aspect will get destroyed. What will happen? This is a typical spiritual, if somebody is meditating, what will happen if you meditate? No, you lose interest in the family, you lose interest in the job, okay? You will become a monk, okay? So then what will happen to your family? So that means all your sense tendencies, mental tendencies get destroyed. That's the dharma of the mind is to go out. Dharma of the mind is to get happiness from the world. So if all tendencies get, what will happen? You will become a useless fellow. You will not be useful for the society. So Arjuna is saying, dharma is gone means sense organs, the mind, they don't function. If you sit and meditate for some time, what will happen? You will be useless in the society. So I was in the early days of my marriage, I used to sit and meditate. My relatives will get worried. So will this person become monk? Will he continue to be in the job? So what they don't understand, a person who is meditative or spiritual will have such a peaceful mind. He will have mastery over the mind. The mind destruction doesn't happen. No mind means mind destruction doesn't happen. Ignorance as the mind goes, he will have a very peaceful life. He'll be very successful in spiritual world and material world. That they don't understand. So Arjuna is representing dilemma of a ignorant seeker. Sense tendency is gone. The person will become useless. What will happen to Krishna? This dharma of the sense organs gone. Then what will happen? This is the spiritual meaning, adhyatmic meaning of the shloka. Adi bhautika meaning or meaning in the outer world, I have told. All of you are welcome to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our videos, and share with your friends. Namaste. Any questions are there? Shri Rama has any questions?
All clear, Guruji.
I have questions from YouTube. Ramchandra, Jai Ho, Shri Ram. Mahabharata was done for dharma, but because of many deaths on both sides, many women lost family. So then what dharma was achieved in this dharmic war? It is a birth for more evil era. So Ramchandra is saying, Mahabharata war, more than 50 lakh people died from many countries. Then what is the purpose? It was fought for dharma. But ultimately, so many men died, so much of death and destruction happened. What was achieved? Sri Ramachandra, you have to remember, Mahabharata war happened 5,300 years back. And India prospered and became the great country in the world subsequent to Mahabharata war. For almost 5,000 years, India was a great country in the world. We did a lot of India was called Sone ki Chidiya. We prospered. Stability was there. Religion was there. Dharma flourished in India after Mahabharata war. Unlike any other country in the world, India was a great country until 500 years back. Babur invaded Ayodhya, and subsequently 500 years we adopt. Almost 4,500 years India had stability. That is the effect of Mahabharata war. Establishment of dharma. Indian society, dharma was established after Mahabharata war. Is that clear? Sir, but why should not culture and tradition change with time? World is constantly changing, then why stick to some other time periods, culture and tradition? Ramchandra is asking, what is wrong with the culture changing? Okay, culture should change, no? Time changes. Sri Ramchandra, the culture and cult, you have to find a difference. The culture in Sanskrit is called Samskriti. Okay, cult is blind following. The cult is different from culture. So Samskriti means good values, good learning from one generation to another generation is passed on. So now the best practice of one generation go to the next practice. It's not blind following. The best practice of one generation going to next generation is called culture. It's called Sanskrit. In Sanskrit word is the Samskriti. So best values are followed over a period of time. A deeper and deeper learning will happen. The old values which are good are not destroyed. The new values come, but which will replace the useless old culture, old values. India, you have to remember, is almost 10,000-year-old civilization. We have developed some good values. So those values should be prescribed. Whatever new values which are required, we should learn. Destruction of old values should not be done blindly. It's like good habits. Okay, I'll say a culture, right? In the house, there's a culture. Getting up in the morning and brushing the tooth. So let us forget it. No, why? Don't do it. Then what will happen? Your tooth will go. Brushing the tooth is a habit pattern, a culture which has a value. So culture which has a value should not be destroyed. The culture with no value should be destroyed. But Indian society has found many values which are time tested, and which will bring peace to the society. What are the family values? Live together with all the conflicts and differences. Domination of elders. Ramachandra is asking, what are the family values? Ramachandra, the Indian family values are not dominance or conflict. A person when he gets married in India, he takes an oath, husband and wife. 7 oaths. It's called Saptapadi. So the Saptapadi involves Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. The husband and wife together work towards Dharma primarily. Dharma is the family value. 5 yadnas, Pancha yadna is the family value. Okay? Working towards the moksha or liberation is the family value. Artha and Kama as subservient to Dharma is the family value. So family system is built around that. Respect for elders, taking care of the advice of the elders, at the same time working for Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha is the system is built around these principles. Whereas if these Dharma, Artha, Kama is not, Moksha is not there, the society will be run by Artha and Kama, sex and money. No values will be there. The children who grow up will be asuras, demons. So Ramachandra is saying, sorry to ask for this, but I am facing in my family the conflicts, dominance by elders. See, Ramachandra, blindly we don't have to family values. The family value, when I say family values, the real family value comes from generation to generation. Focus on Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Dharma is primary, work towards the Moksha. Artha and Kama are subservient to that. So if the family elders don't have that value system, so the problem is not an Indian value system. Is that clear, Ramachandra? Any questions? So there is a question on Zoom. What is the question? So we can say when war happens inside me due to life kicks or Sadhguru's teaching, these three gunas proportion within start changing, and progeny of these 3 chained gunas will be peace, clarity, and bliss. So the question on Zoom is, there's the inner war and there's the outer war. And I told all men and women are 3. That means Sattva guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna dominates their life. Identity of the body, mind, and intellect is the dominance. So in the inner war, there's the positive qualities are what we call as Pandavas have to win. The Nivritti Marga, mind which takes towards the self, has to win. So when it wins, these Tamoguna to Rajoguna, Rajoguna to Sattva, the changes happen. The proportion of guna changes. The result of that, there is inner peace. There is a happiness. Okay, progressively you're moving towards the self. So that's what will happen. Is that answer clear? For the person who has asked the question on Zoom. So then Ramachandra says, he says his family has a lot of stress and strife. He says, this talk should be listened by my family. So his family members should listen. Ramachandra, the family values and cultures requires a long grooming. Just by listening somebody, they may not change. They have to listen to their guru, their master, if they listen to somebody. Okay. Anybody has a question on Zoom?
Hari Om Prabhuji.
Hari Om.
No question, but just when we hear Arjuna's explanation, it seems very obvious and compelling at first when we look at the literal meaning. Until we understand the Gurartha, the Adhyatmika meaning of what Sri stands for, and how the Purushartha is to be adhered to move towards the self. Very nice, Prabhuji. This is very helpful. Thank you.
In Arjuna's even superficial talk also looks very great. What a great personality Arjuna is, right? Now? So he is saying war should not be fought. He is such a peace lover, right? That's why so many peace lovers are in India also. We should not. We should love Pakistan. Even Pakistan terrorists come and hit India. We should love. So many peace. They're so-called peace. It's actually coming out of not peace, but fear. Okay,
yes,
and raga and dvesha. So actually, there's a saying in saying, okay, a person or a country can have peace only when it's strong. A weak country cannot have peace, because the moment the country is weak, enemies will attack. So to have peace, you should have strength. A strong person only can have peace. So Arjuna here is giving a very, very faulty argument. For he has come there to fight for dharma. Now he is giving an argument for adharma. So that's in the Adi Bhautika level. At the Adhyatmika level, the peace means inner peace, inner fight which is there. I have given the meaning.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Clear?
Yes, Prabhuji. This is when we read it at first, we feel yes, Arjuna is right. This is the correct argument. But now, yes, we have to be always very careful about the correct reasoning.
Very
Thank
good.
you, Prabhuji.
Bhagavad Gita has deeper and deeper meaning. At a superficial meaning, mislead us.
Thank you for
Lalita,
clarifying.
any questions? Katyayani, any questions?
Very clear, Guruji. Very, very clear. Thank you so much. Pranams to you.
Yeah, pranams. So, Ramchandra says, your laugh is so heavy and deep. Thank you, Ramchandra. Okay. Anybody else have any questions? Otherwise, we'll have Kannada session in Ramchandra said, my laugh is hearty. So the hearty laughs comes from a light heart and empty mind. Right, Ramchandra? You can also have it. A light heart and empty mind. You can also laugh, belly full of love. Okay. So